The trap waiting for most people in betting markets is surprisingly simple. The most likely outcome is often the worst place to put your money. Take this weekend's notch-up between Leeds United and Brighton and Hove Albion. A packed Ellen Road provides a documented home environment advantage, but our AI model strips away the noise to evaluate the raw team strengths. Looking at the ELO ratings, Brighton enters the match as the mathematically superior squad at 1609, comfortably ahead of Leeds at 1497. The model's raw goal expectancy metrics show a clear dynamic. Brighton's away scoring intensity sits at 1.51, easily outpacing the Leeds home intensity of 0.98. If you look at those numbers, your immediate conclusion is that multiple goals are practically guaranteed. The AI's own probability data actually agrees. It calculates over 2.5 goals at 51.4%, and both teams to score yes at 52.7%. But despite confirming those outcomes as the most probable, the AI firmly rejects placing your money on either of them. Instead, the model's primary recommendation is a maximum $50 stake on the under 2.5 goals market. It seems completely contradictory. Why would an advanced analytical model heavily fund an outcome that it explicitly states is less likely to happen? Because profitable sports investing requires you to separate what is statistically probable from what is incorrectly priced by the bookmaker. To understand the math here, we have to isolate the under 2.5 goals market. Currently, the bookmaker is offering odds of 2.20. This chart shows how those odds translate into hard percentages. A 2.20 payout means the bookmaker has set their implied probability at roughly 45.4%. They believe there is less than a coin flip chance this game ends under 3 goals. You are betting against that exact threshold. Our model runs the exact same calculation, but its true probability sits higher at 48.6%. That discrepancy creates a top market edge of positive 5.4%. Having an edge means you are buying an outcome for cheaper than its true mathematical worth. Here is the hard truth of this specific bet. At a 48.6% probability, this wager will statistically lose more than half the time. But you have to compare that friction against the trap waiting for you in the over 2.5 market. The over is absolutely more likely to hit, but the bookmaker odds are sitting heavily juiced at 1.67, which means you are actually buying into a negative 5.4% edge. If you consistently buy negative edge markets, even if they hit frequently, the math guarantees a depleted bankroll over a long enough timeline. Long-term portfolio growth demands that you tolerate short-term losses on sub-50% probabilities, as long as you are consistently capturing positive closing line value. This is a quadrant chart mapping our available markets. We can broaden the analysis to evaluate the traditional match winner, specifically the Brighton away win. Brighton sits at a 48.9% win probability. At 2.10 odds, that yields a solid positive 4.7% edge. Now compare that to the under 2.5 market, which pushes further right with its higher 5.4% edge. The model manages risk proportionally. The away win has a lower edge, receiving a reduced lean stake of $25.34. The stronger under market gets the full $50. That scaling protects you from a dangerous behavioral trap common among high-volume bettors, chasing multiple probable markets in the exact same game. Because the AI marked both teams to score yes and over 2.5 as over 51% probable, the temptation is to bet heavily on both. This diagram illustrates correlated risk. This happens when the outcome of one bet directly dictates the fate of the other. If both teams score, the game is inherently pushed closer to an over 2.5 total. The wagers are completely intertwined. The critical vulnerability is in the overlap. If the match ends in a low-scoring shutout, like a 1-0 or a 0-0, both of your bets are instantly wiped out together. Look at the model's top projected scorelines. A 1-1 tie sits at 11.9%, a 0-1 away win at 11%, and a 0-0 draw at 7.9%. Those specific low-scoring BTTS no outcomes represent a massive combined chunk of the probability spectrum. Stacking correlated bets offers a false illusion of diversification. It actually serves only to multiply risk and overexpose your bankroll to a single game script. Protocol: 1. Target the 5.4% edge on under 2.5. 2. Verify correlation. Never pair over with both teams to score. 3. Limit bankroll to $75.34. This systemic, math-first strategy is designed for the value investor. It requires you to track closing lines and strictly manage your stake size. If you need constant wins to enjoy a weekend, or if you refuse to back probabilities under 50%, you will fail executing this model. Keep in mind the real-world variables that the math cannot perfectly predict. You still need to review final team news and live weather conditions before kickoff. Soccer betting is inherently high variance. Even a massive 5.4% edge guarantees nothing in a single 90-minute sample size. AI tools are built to enforce ironclad financial discipline. They take the guessing out of the process, leaving you with structured risk management.